Welcome to GastroVision. For every GI fellow, there's that moment of truth in the endoscopy suite. You've done all the hard work, you've located the lesion with the echo endoscope, and now you're staring at a tray full of needles. And that right there, that's the critical juncture where a single choice can make or break your diagnosis. So today, we're going to turn that moment from one of, well, maybe a little uncertainty, into one of confident, systematic decision-making.
Right? This is the question. It comes up multiple times a day. Are you reaching for that 25-gauge FNA needle or maybe a 19-gauge core biopsy needle? And does it really matter? Oh, you bet it does. It absolutely does. The answer impacts everything from your sample adequacy all the way to patient safety. And believe me, by the end of this, you're going to have a rock-solid framework to answer this question every single time. So here's our game plan. We'll start by talking about the challenge itself. Then we're going to systematically break down the 4 key factors that should be guiding your choice. We're talking anatomy, the lesion itself, your procedural setup, like lab support, and then finally, the bottom line stuff, safety and cost. Okay, let's dive right into it. For way too long, needle selection has felt kind of like an art form, Sometimes it's based on what your attending likes, or just, hey, this is what we've always used. We're going to completely replace that guesswork with a clear, evidence-based system. All right, first up, and you could argue this is the most important factor to start with, is anatomy. Before you even think about the lesion, you have to consider the path your needle is going to take. Where are you starting from, and where are you trying to go? Okay, let's break this down. If you're coming in transduodenally, think about it. You're in that tight retroflex scope position trying to reach the head of the pancreas. You absolutely need a flexible needle. That's why the 22 and 25 gauge needles are your go-to here. On the other hand, if you've got a nice straight shot from the stomach or the esophagus to the body or tail of the pancreas, well, now you can bring out the bigger guns, a more rigid, larger bore needle, like a 19 or a 22 gauge. So the whole point here is this fundamental trade-off. It's flexibility versus rigidity. The smaller gauge needles, your 22s and 25s, they're like your acrobats. They can bend and navigate those really difficult curves to get into the pancreatic head and unsen it. The 19 gauge, that's your battering ram. It is perfect for a straight, stable puncture when the anatomy lets you. You just have to match the tool to the terrain. So, you've planned your route. Great. Now, what about the target? The suspected diagnosis and the kind of sample you need to actually confirm it, well, that's the next critical piece of this puzzle. This is really where your clinical suspicion starts to guide your hand. For a standard pancreatic mass where you just need cells for cytology, those 22 and 25 gauge needles are often going to be perfect. But if you suspect something where tissue architecture is the key, I'm talking about a GIST or a lymphoma, you need more than just a smear of loose cells. You need a core. And this is when you prioritize a TrueCut or another core biopsy needle. Or, as our source suggests, a 19-gauge flex can be a really great alternative. Okay, let's build on that. Your decision isn't made in a vacuum, right? It's also dictated by the resources you have available right there in the room and what your lab needs from you to make the final diagnosis. Now, this is a massive fork in the road. If you have rapid on-site evaluation, or ROSE, you have a pathologist right there telling you, yep, that's a good sample. That's a huge safety net. It means you can often get the job done with standard aspiration needles. But if you're working without ROSE, the pressure is really on. You cannot afford to have non-diagnostic passes. In that scenario, using a core needle or a larger 19-gauge flex becomes a much, much safer bet to make sure you walk out of that room with what you need. And here's maybe the simplest rule of all. If pathology calls you up and says they need a core sample for ancillary studies, for immunohistochemistry, for genetic testing, the decision has been made for you. Don't gamble with an aspiration needle. Go straight for a dedicated core biopsy needle and get it done right the first time. All right, we've covered the anatomy, the lesion, and the procedural logistics. Now, let's just finish up with the practicalities that should always be in the back of your mind. Patient safety and, of course, resource stewardship. This really summarizes it perfectly. If you're worried about bleeding risk or contamination, it just makes sense that a smaller needle might be safer. From a cost perspective, your standard aspiration needles are usually the most economical choice. But it's that safety line at the bottom that I really want us to focus on. Let's be crystal clear about this warning. The larger bore 19 gauge and the TrueCut needles are, and I quote, possibly more traumatic. Now, this does not mean they're unsafe, and it doesn't mean you should avoid them. It means you must have a very clear indication for using them. You're making a conscious decision to accept a potentially higher risk of trauma because you have to get a sample that you just can't get any other way. It's a risk-benefit calculation you have to make for every single patient. Okay, so we've taken the whole engine apart, we've looked at all the individual components. Now let's put it back together into a simple but really powerful pre-procedure checklist that you can just run through in your head every time.
And here it is, your 5-step mental model. Step 1, anatomy. What's my pathway? What's my location? Step 2, lesion. What do I suspect and what kind of sample do I need? Step 3, procedure. Do I have rows? Do they need a core? Step 4, practicalities. What are the risks? What are the costs? Run through those 4 questions and you will arrive at step 5, selecting your needle not by habit, but with real purpose and confidence. This is the framework for true mastery.
And I'll leave you with this question to think about. Needle technology is going to keep advancing. We're going to see new designs, new capabilities. But which of these core principles we talked about today, the unchanging facts of anatomy, the fundamentals of pathology, the practicalities of safety, which of these will always, always remain the foundation of your choice? It's something to think about as you continue to build your expertise.
Subscribe to Gastrovision.